City Chiefs are playing at a level that we haven't seen before. I don't think anybody would argue that. Every possible article, video, or story produced has talked about their unprecedented style of play with their unprecedented collection of talent. We've all heard every over-exaggerated superlative of how ludicrously good this offense is. But for all the hype out there, the one critical aspect that's probably the most crucial, but the hardest to identify and define, is their communication. When we watch Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce play together, it feels different. Like something special is happening, supernatural almost, in ways seemingly unrelated to football. Mahomes knows where Kelce is and will be at all times. He doesn't even need to look at him. And Kelce has a sixth sense for getting open when the play breaks down, and finding that one spot on the field that the defense isn't covering. The quarterback and receiver have to be able to read calculus-level coverages through one set of eyes, while those coverages can change week to week, play to play on the fly, and adjust specifically to whatever the Chiefs are trying to do. The hard work and rare abilities required to develop this level of communication does not just happen. For Mahomes and Kelce, it developed into really good when they started in 2018, and over time it's built into something great. Kelce's been playing at that really good level for years, even BPM, before Patrick Mahomes. Kelce's the first tight end ever to have 1,000 receiving yards 4 or more seasons in a row. This is his 5th. And in 2018, he set the record for most tight end receiving yards in a single season, which George Kittle later surpassed. This year, Kelce broke it again, and has ascended into legendary territory. This level of communication between him and Mahomes has long been brewing. It's been years in the making. How does their psychic connection destroy NFL defenses? They both understand how to play in and out of structure. Kelce is a master at sitting down within space and zone and finding the nooks and crannies in coverage, while also knowing when Mahomes is under duress late in the down and needs to throw to the one spot the defense can't possibly defend. When the play breaks down and chaos ensues, that's when Kelce and Mahomes are most comfortable. To take advantage of their communication, Kelce often runs option routes since he and Mahomes can read pre- and post-snap coverages exactly the same. He can go in, he can go out, or sit down, depending on the defense and the defender guarding him. The Browns actually fool him with their Tampa 2 coverage. It's a Tampa 2P concept, meaning they're dropping an 8th defender with just a 3-man rush. You can see Kelce looking at the middle run-through linebacker to identify the void in coverage. When he flips his hips, indicating there will be a space in the low hole, Kelce then sees through his peripheral the cloud corner taking away the flat, so he knows he's going in. The problem is, the linebacker Malcolm Smith is leveraged hard inside by a good 3 yards, so Kelce has to sell the out route, but he doesn't get a lot of separation. Plus, surprisingly, the D lineman is right in the hole, so the play is dead. Except, it's the Chiefs. Plays are never dead for them. Defensive coordinators lock themselves in basements for days on end designing the perfect calls and coverages to fool them. But then Kelce unravels all of it and makes it look easy. Mahomes knows he wants him on the option route since he's matched on a linebacker. He feels the D lineman dropping, so he knows he has to quickly hit Kelce out of his break. But when he doesn't definitively win against Smith's leverage, Mahomes has to buy time. He moves up in the pocket to draw the lineman out of that hole. But when Smith is still draped on Kelce, the two use their Stephen Strange telekinesis and pick up a chunk play. This is the perfect coverage. But the perfect coverage isn't good enough against these two. Kelce has such an incredible understanding of leverage. It's not just how he beats it, but recognizing when he can't beat it. Mahomes knows he won't force his way into the teeth of the defense, and even in the midst of disaster, the two are almost always on the same page. The Chiefs are running their double peel Zorro concept, mirrored post wheels with Kelce running a Zorro, juke, whatever you want to call it. Post wheel is designed to beat most zoned coverages. When it works, you'll see corners run with the post route and fail to account for the wheel coming in behind them. That's what Mahomes wants first, but when he sees it isn't open, he evades pressure and comes back to Kelce. Similar to the Browns play, Kelce needs to break the linebacker's inside leverage. The Zorro route is supposed to look like a spot route, so it tries to get the backer to jump it so Kelce can scoot across his face. But when Tremaine Edmonds doesn't buy the fake and maintains his leverage to cut off the angle, Kelce just reverses back out. We've seen 1,000 times before where the QB and receiver are not on the same page and it leads to an interception. If Kelce keeps going across the field like this play called for, Trey White might pick this ball off and take it back for a 14-point swing. Mahomes has to trust Kelce 100% so he can make the throw with confidence even with linemen in his face. When Mike Remmers gets turned into Jack Stack's barbecue, Mahomes is still looking outside, then picks up Kelce just as he's starting the second phase of his Zorro route. Kelce never even looks at him to establish what's going down, but with Mahomes under heavy duress, he just knows Kelce will turn back away from leverage and break free from Edmonds. Kelce's established himself as the best receiving tight end in the league, but he's honestly transcended the position and become one of the best receivers, period. Though the typical slot receiver has historically been smaller, lightning-quick Wes Welker types, Kelce has done a ton of damage from the same spot. When he lines up there, he's targeted 29% of the time, which was third most out of all receivers, and had the most yards per route run from that spot of anybody. However, especially in the slot, if he and Mahomes aren't on the exact same page, terrible things can happen. The Broncos set a booby trap to ambush Kelce's option route. It's one of the most disgusting coverages in the game called 5 Cougar. It's designed to look exactly like cover 2 man, but watch the outside corner. If his receiver releases outside, he'll flip his hips and turn upfield, but instead of carrying him, he whips around to trap the out route if it's coming. With the linebacker Josie Jewell leveraged inside, the Broncos expect Mahomes will see the corners backflipped. Kelce will run away from Jewell's leverage and right into a potential interception. But these guys are too good. The Chiefs trust Kelce to win no matter what the linebacker's leverage is and instead to attack open space. When he sees the Mike linebacker relating to the other slot receiver, he knows there's no low hole zone defender. Even though Jewell is inside, Kelce sells outside hard to make up room up the middle. If Kelce does go outside, or if Mahomes throws it towards Kelce's fake, it could be picked off. But these two process coverage together and instead turn it into a huge gain. We've talked about the ways Kelce wins in and out of structure, but not really about some of the techniques he uses to actually get open. He has a wide range of tools and understands how to use angles and timing to beat the man in front of him. The Dolphins are running a variation of regular cover 1 man called one funnel, which assigns Jerome Baker and Sam Iguavin to funnel the running back. If the back goes outside, Iguavin takes him and Baker becomes the low hole rat and vice versa. It's a nice way to adjust to what the offense is doing, but leaves just a sliver of space in the middle that regular cover 1 rat would normally account for. When the Chiefs use play action to release the back inside, watch Kelce. He knows he has to win across the field to find that open space, but has the safety Eric Rowe tight to him in coverage. He uses a stair-step technique to freeze Rowe, attack his angle to create space, and win inside. Now he has leverage, but has to make it to this spot before Iguavin can cut him off. Kelce has to evade Baker covering the back and win quickly enough to beat Rowe, but also slowly enough to sit in the space in front of Iguavin. Mahomes just barely fits it in, and the Chiefs pick up an explosive play. We can get a better angle from the tight, even though Kelce starts off screen. If he doesn't use the stair step, Rowe can stay tight in coverage and potentially undercut the shallow cross. But when he uses it, it slows Rowe's momentum a bit, and now he doesn't know if Kelce is running flat across the field or going high to the sideline. It creates a much better angle for Kelce to win, but with Iguavin falling back in coverage, he has to stem a little bit higher to buy time, which makes the throw come in a bit lower. He could get his head knocked off, but that doesn't faze him. His excellent sense of timing doesn't just relate to when the coverage is closing in, but also how he can pace his routes based on where he is in the progression. He can use the stair step on longer developing routes when he knows he doesn't have to win immediately, and the separation in the route turns an incomplete pass into a big play. Without the stair step, there wouldn't be that extra 6 inches of space Mahomes needs when he slightly underthrows it. The two of them truly exist in a plane of time all by themselves. Mahomes warps time like an Avenger, and Kelce is uncoverable when the play goes off the rails. Throughout a game, defenses sometimes make the perfect call and blanket whatever it is an offense is trying to do. But Mahomes and Kelce can break those coverages and find the space that technically isn't even there. We have never seen the level of production that Kelce is putting up. He's gone over 100 yards in 6 of his last 9 games. So not only did he break the receiving record, but he did it by catching fire on his way and into the playoffs. In the 7 career playoff games between he and Mahomes, they are 39 of 50 for 509 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And on the entire 2020 season, Kelce had just 2 drops. This is a well-oiled machine that has only gotten oilier the longer they've played, and their communication has only grown stronger. The Chiefs already have won a Super Bowl just a season ago, but now they're knocking on the door to become the next NFL dynasty. Whenever their offense steps on the field, let me tell you this: you are not catching Travis Kelce.